Okay, we're going to call to order our April 27th, 2021 meeting of the Board of Managers for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. May we have the roll call, please?
Becky Greenlaw. Here. Pat Harris.
Here.
Devin Hastings. Leanne Jones. Adam Konechny.
Here.
Laura Krentz. Mike Seitz.
Here.
Doug Waters.
Here.
Martha King's here.
Okay, thank you for that. And with that, we'll open the floor for any public comments. Hearing none, we need a motion and a second for our March minute approvals.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Mike Seitz and a second by Doug Waters to approve our March 2021 minutes. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. For my report, I'm just going to lower this while I talk and then I'll put it back on. For my report this morning, I just wanted to give you all an update. If you're not aware, there is a countywide COVID meeting every Thursday, and it's a Zoom meeting where all the organizations, you have your schools, you have your legal and government officials there, you have corporations there, you have your health departments there, your hospitals, police departments. Everyone participates and they share information about the status of any cases that have been filed, any cases that have been found positive in hospitalizations. And it's a really good update for the county. It's a very good, I feel, communication tool for people to know what everybody's doing, so that if they're wanting to get information on something, you can get it right there basically at that meeting. So that's been going on, and we do have in our county an increase in our numbers for the past few weeks, but it has kind of leveled off, and we're hoping that soon it'll start to go down and we can get back to going in the direction that we were going in initially. Spring break, we feel they feel spiked, it caused it to spike a little bit, but now it seems as if it's getting back into a place of some sort of calming down effect. So on our FMEC update, Susie will give you more information, but we are in the process, as I told you last month, of replacing the sign out there. And that's coming along very nicely. And once we have the final, Susie will show it to you all, and we can be very proud of our new sign that's going out there. I think it's going to be I think everyone will really like it. And with that, I will ask for our treasurer's report. Mr. Seitz?
Sure. You should have received via email the treasurer's report for period of March 21st. During that time, we had accounts payable of $78,144.09. We had total payroll for that time period of $20,418.67, and that gives us a grand total of $98,562.76. You also, in your packet, should have received the what's the name of it?
Statement of financial.
Yeah, financial statements. Brain cramp. In your packet, and I will pass this around and ask for your signature after approval. Make a motion to approve
I'll make a motion to approve as written, as stated.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Doug Waters and a second by Becky Greenlaw to approve our financial statements for through March of 2021. Are there any discussions, questions, or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to you, Mr. Arnett, our Executive Director's report.
Yeah, I'll walk you all through some of the reports that we have listed here. Just starting off with the operation of finances. We're starting to get, you're going to see a little bit more normal financial transactions on the next couple of reports. We're starting to do a little bit of travel. We're sending Rick and the appropriate folks out to the other venues where we have either jet skis or the big boats to make sure that we're on top of getting the teams oriented to come here and getting that in place. A little more normalcy in our spending. So that's kind of nice. Again, under the anticipation that the races are all going to come off as scheduled. And so that's, I just give you a forewarning, some of those travel expenses will start showing up. So on the flip side of that, the income side, I've given you all a copy of the most recent income statements. Of course, you all knew at the end of 2020, we were way up on our AQ the one with the blue graph. I give you all, Susie, your son here, can you but what's significant, I think, note is if you look at the first 2 months of 21, while I was a couple months behind, we're still continuing to increase on the innkeeper staff, which is really great. I mean, we just continually are going up, and for us to go up like that during the COVID year in this industry when Blue Chips hotels were down for 60 days is amazing. It's a credit to the staff, and it's a credit to our vacation rental industry, which is a hot topic right now, especially in Michigan City, because they're looking to do some regulation in the vacation rentals. So we're on top of that. I testified last night at a workshop, and we'll be communicating with them more later today on that. So I thought that was interesting on the income side. And of course, the gaming, you saw how we ended last year. We knew it was down, just simply because Blue Chip was not taking in any revenue gaming dollars for so long. And it's been kind of going down anyway. And it's yet to be determined whether or not the safety net will affect us, and if so, how much. We just don't know. And by that, I think you all will recall that several years ago, they passed legislation that when they changed the formula, they said, we'll try not to let you drop below a certain point. And that's what that safety net's for, to keep that from happening. It's supposed to apply to units of government and to us. But we haven't seen the results yet. So I'll keep you updated. But I can tell you all will survive with or without it. But hopefully it comes through. So just Pat, just a couple things on the income there and the expenditures. The rest of the expenditures are based on pretty low activity so far this year, as we tried to mirror last year's activities budget-wise. We're not doing a lot of things we did in 19 on purpose this year, as you know, when we approved the budget. We kind of scaled that back a little bit. A lot of the sponsorships they're going to set idle this year and things like that. So we're getting into new areas. One new area that we're getting into is this Our Shop campaign. And I think at first blush, somebody might look and say, why is CBB? Well, that's not the health department. That's not. Well, guess what? If we're going to get our economy going, and if we're going to get things back to normal from a tourism, hospitality industry side, we need folks to feel safe about coming into our community, period. Okay, this isn't a political statement, this is an economic statement. And we are the hospitality industry, we represent them for the county. So for us as Blue Chip to step up and spearhead this campaign, it's the right thing to do. And Becky is agreed to set on the committee. Horizon was one of the funding partners, and Becky is sitting on wearing two hats, wearing the CBB board hat and the Horizon hat. Don, Becky, you got anything you want to add or talk about how that's going?
I mean, they're just doing a great job, and I think this turned out really great. So it's just an effort to, get the word out and counteract some of people's hesitancy about getting the vaccine, and unfortunately, it's needed, as we've seen in the numbers. So, I'm really excited to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Jack, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I really think it'd be appropriate for the board to make a resolution to support this initiative that you're undertaking here, because it's so very, very important to, you're right, you know, what you said, to represent the hospitality industry for LaPorte County, and I congratulate you. It's a great idea to do this because it's so important to the CVB and to the whole county itself, so I think we ought to have...
Well, I certainly agree and support it, but I would ask legal if we need to do that.
Yeah, what I would suggest is maybe we draft something, and then that way we can get some eyes on it, and then share it with the board, and then present it.
Okay, I didn't mean to be...
Yeah, it would be something legal would do for us, but I support it, and it would be up to the board to vote to
That's
do
fine.
it.
Yeah, thank you. Good breakdown. You ended up there. If you guys want, it just shows that the board is behind this. I wasn't expecting that, but it's a good idea. It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't hurt anything at all.
we can put something together and then, you know, share it amongst the board members. You guys can comment on it.
Yeah.
And then that way we have some feedback, and at the next board meeting, we can present it, and it could be an actual resolution.
Yeah, well, you know, again, I just think it's an important for the CVB.
Well, you get a good one in there every now and then.
I'm sorry?
You get a good one in there every now and then.
And, you know, that the board ought to be behind the staff and their initiative to do this, so that's why I brought it up.
Okay, so moving on to operation and finance, are there any other questions about operation and finance? I know I moved quick through that area, but I don't have anything new to report. If there is, you can circle back. I'll be glad to come back to it. Sure. I don't have it on this agenda, but it kind of falls under operations. Our regional group, as you all will recall, we work with our legislators all the way across the toll road with regards to, we call it our fair share, Northern Indiana Initiative, bringing board appointments and legislation that represents Northern Indiana to the forefront. And we do a breakfast, we used to do a breakfast once a month with the legislators when they're in session. Well, COVID has changed all that, so we had to minimize that, but we were able to squeeze a breakfast in a couple weeks ago. I had a family commitment, so Mike sat in as our legislative board representative. So Mike, would you want to give an update on that?
Sure. On a personal note, it was really good to get back into the swing of things as far as the legislature goes. I sat and had breakfast with Pat Boy from Michigan City and Linda Rogers from South Bend, who I've known for probably 40 years. And it was really good to see everybody there. I was sort of disappointed. I'm sure they had other commitments that Mike Bohacek and Jim Pressel weren't able to attend, but like I say, there were testimonies going on in various committees at that particular time early in the morning, and so I'm sure that's the reason why. But again, it was good to get together and shake hands and to make our presence known among the legislators, and I think it's a good thing that we do that, and the executive director of the group does such an excellent job of putting this all together, and he knows a lot of all the legislators from Northern Indiana, and he did an excellent job, and I appreciate the opportunity, Jack, to be able to go down and meet with everybody. So it's been a long time since I've been down there.
Anything specific come out of it as far as?
No, it was just, hey, we're here, we want to meet with you whenever something comes up type thing. I think during that particular time, there were some very controversial education bills going before the legislature, and so that's about all.
Yeah, Pat, to feed into that regard, the feedback that we get back from the legislators is that even if it doesn't necessarily point to a piece of legislation at a point in time, they like the idea that if there's an issue that comes out of Northern Indiana, that they could go back to the floor with 29 votes and say, we are together, we want these board appointments for in Indiana, or we want this piece of legislation that'll affect housing or affect gaming or whatever it might be. And so that's kind of where they're coming from. They love it. There's just so much tugging at them to get to these breakfast meetings. There's a group that does this over in the Fort Wayne area. They're very well established, very well funded, been doing it for a long time. And, you know, our numbers at the one Mike attended were greater than the one they had the week before. So this kind of shows we're kind of making our mark down there now.
Good.
So we're happy about that. So I'll move on then. Gail, did you have anything else? I'm sorry, under finances that you want to report?
No, we're in good shape, everything's on track.
Yep.
Looking forward to 5,500 reports in June.
Yeah. And I guess a couple meetings ago, we probably told you all that Gail made a pretty good update point that we're not, as we feel like now, not eligible for any assistance moving into this year because of our financial status and the way it's set up. We're working to our regional group. We're going to hire an outside, it's Baker Daniels out of Indianapolis, a law firm, through the regional group, not through our budget, to help us understand if there's any monies out there that we're missing. It's probably the best way to put this. And it does fall under the same category of not being eligible. We may be eligible for some of these pots of money. Gail and I have been working on the Indiana stuff, and we're pretty sure with legal, we're sure at this point we don't qualify for any of the Indiana right now. But we're getting an extra set of eyes on this just to make sure that there's not some money out there that would help us promote bringing folks back, getting folks back up to speed, that kind of thing. So just to let you know, we're going to spend a few dollars, hoping to bring quite a few more back in on that if that works. So now, I'm sorry, Linda, community recovery?
Okay. Thank you, Jack. And first of all, you'll notice on the table, I've given all of you annual report 2020 for the Economic Development Corporation of Michigan City. I sit on their board, and I thought, Gail this morning we were talking about, and it's like a well-written story and just really follows everything, even in a pandemic year, the successes and what we're looking forward to in 2021. Clarence Holtz, who is the executive director, does an outstanding job in his position, and I've been on the board for over 5 years, and I'm always impressed with his dedication and what he's trying to bring to Michigan City for the community, but also for people who want to build businesses here. Jobs, of course, is a big piece of this, as well as just having the opportunity to showcase our area. So he's done an excellent job, and I think this just really showcases a lot of what's been going on during a bad year, and then a lot of great things are planned for 2021. There was a job fair several weeks ago at Blue Chip, and the CVB had a booth there, not for interviewing, but pretty much to talk about the R Shop. We had the brochures to hand out, and there was a low turnout for this, and I think you're hearing that everywhere you go now, is that people aren't really looking for anything right now because they're still getting compensation from the government, and hopefully that will change, but there are a lot of jobs, that are available, and good paying jobs, and there's a lot of incentives going on as well, as far as trying to get people in and get back to some type of a routine. So we were represented there. I think they had 25 businesses and a little, probably less than people actually showing up, but we were able to talk to them once again about the importance of vaccination and so on. So I think LaPorte has one coming up pretty soon as well. So it's happening in both places. Our team actually has a meeting after the board meeting this morning, and a lot of what we're talking about now is just kind of finalizing some things that I even spoke to you about last month. And one of the big deals that a lot of our focus is on is the Grand Prix races. And so working on badges and the schedule, the race card. And Amy, Rick, Wright, and I have a call Thursday with Roy and Azam from P1 to just talk about other plans. They like to work with us and make suggestions as well as we move forward. And so we're looking forward to that call just to have a chance to share ideas and see if there's anything else out there that would really help motivate and really get people excited about the race series in 2021. So we'll keep you updated. Obviously, safety is our big our concern, and we want to definitely be sure that as we move forward, that is, and obviously with the numbers, Pat talked about the countywide weekly meetings has a lot of good information, and I'm always impressed, I think I mentioned it last week, is how that group has pulled together. You've got all the right people in that group, and the updates and reporting that they're giving, just letting you know how well our county is being watched. From the hospital, the health department, the mayor, and so on. So it is a great group, and they will continue hopefully until we get out of this and don't have to address COVID again. A couple other things, ITA, our Indiana Tourism Association, we have a board meeting May 19th. That'll be a virtual meeting. So we'll be just going over a lot of things for 2021 as we move on. Elaine Beadle, who's with IDEC, is also going to make a presentation to us to give us an update of what's going on in the state. As well as part of our agenda, ITA is going to start working again on an advocacy group. They tried this last year and it went really well. I think there's 4 sessions. So I plan to participate in that. And then the state as well is having discussion regarding diversity, inclusion, and equity. So I was really glad, if you saw in the minutes, I talked about what Destinations International is doing. So now the state is stepping up and having that dialogue as well. So I'm real anxious to be a participant of that and just hear what others are saying. If we're looking at our state and you look at the CBBs that are part of these organizations, minorities other than women aren't well represented at all. And on the ITA board, I'm the only African American on the board. And it's been like that. No big deal when you look at some of the counties. But I think it's important that they hear, everything, hear it the correct way, and that we stay on top of the issues and concerns that are going on, not just in the state but around the country. Right. So as we move forward, there's just a lot going on, and that's how important these organizations are that we do belong to, that we do have a face, a presence, but we also have a voice. And so I will continue with the ones that I'm involved in. Amy also is on the state social media group, and I'm on the state PR group. So we're covering very well. And then with NITDC, Indiana School North, you'll be happy to hear this week the toll road visitor guides are being delivered to the warehouse. So by our next meeting, we'll have the new guides for everyone to take a look at and see some of the new things that we're doing. And once again, a lot of the marketing that we are doing with the regional group is just awesome. They have a great travel writer, so our blogs, we come up with the subjects, and then she does the blogs for us, and she does a lot of background as well, looking at those individual locations that we want her to write about. So Amy always posts those, and then obviously just going back to the boat race, we're looking at keeping our website updated, events for 2021. We did get the list from the Michigan City Park Department to go through the end of the year, so we'll start posting those up. We're getting those from the city of LaPorte, the fair. And so we're doing everything just to be sure anyone that goes to our website is updated, knows what's going on in LaPorte County. And if there are questions, they can feel free to reach out and call us and get some information. So that's all I have.
It's quite a lot.
Question, yeah, it's the busy service. And these things don't happen by accident. Linda and I, we got a pretty good handle on how these boards should be made up. And that wasn't an accident. When I sat on the state board, Linda and I talked about it. We said, if nobody else in the state's going to address this diversity thing, we're going to. So we flopped. And Linda was able to give us better representation there. Not that I couldn't have helped, but I don't think I could have filled Linda's shoes. She's how Linda is, so it worked out really good, but it was planned anyway, and it's working really well. Heads and bids, Amy's not here today. I've already touched on report any kind of money, so we'll move back. The only question, we're going to go right into the report anyway, so I'm bringing Brett up, but Brett, maybe just as a reminder between you and I, and update everybody, we're still on track to try to bring that basketball tournament back here next March?
Yes,
Okay.
we're still pursuing that. We don't have any final answers, but
Yeah.
I do know they did not host it this year because of the logistical issues, and the only event forum that wanted to host them this year wanted a 5-year contract, and the conference wasn't comfortable signing that. So
Okay, we'll talk about it, but I'm prepared to put a budget out for this board, to see
Yep.
for next year.
And I've been in discussions with the AD over there, and he knows
Yeah,
we're still
okay.
interested. We agreed to revisit it after their national tournament, which expired, or occurred the first week of April. So we're going to be revisiting
And we're
that.
talking about the bringing a high school basketball tournament out from a national level and to be played at the.
Yeah, some of the top programs in the nation
Yeah,
will be.
probably 10 at the top of the nation, and we're gonna house all their teams in blue chip, and we're gonna help get them back and forth to the games, and it's gonna be a big deal. These are high level, very successful basketball programs, the top in the country, and so we're.
Is that seating capacity big enough for something like that on a national level?
Honestly, yes, because I don't know how they did watch like when Alamir won the national championship 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The gym they played in probably didn't hold 500 people.
Yeah, that's.
And it was very sparsely populated. The idea of bringing something like that to Indiana is great, not just for our county, but for that program or that conference, because basketball is king here in Indiana. We all know that. We have like 9 of the 11 largest, gymnasiums, high school gymnasiums in the nation, or in the world, I believe, like in our state. So I believe they know that the fever's there. They're going to get attention. They have national sponsors like Geico and ESPN. I mean,
That's why I'm
We threw
surprised.
out the big gyms and the little, we threw out the Elston Red Devil
Yep.
Gym to look at, we threw out certainly the Michigan City Big Gym.
Yeah.
All of the nostalgic thing with Civic was kind of what brought them to that
Okay.
plan there. So, yeah, we give them some options, and they're all still on the table, all the options.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. But it's pretty cool, pretty good deal. So, Brett, you're up.
As Jack alluded to, like lots of things going on. We just hosted at the Civic, for example, Sunday, the Scholastic Pop Warner Awards, which was a great get for us to have at the Civic. Went extremely well. We followed all COVID protocols, worked with the county health department. We've been having great luck with our events. We haven't had to have any cancellations. We are full through July 3rd now. That's our next open weekend at the Civic, which is great for us and the city. On top of that, we're still hosting a COVID testing facility in the lower level. That'll be occurring through June 30th, and as of yesterday, they have added a rapid test component to their arsenal as well to help combat what we're going through. I know you have to be presenting symptoms, or they're also opening it up to high school students or school students that need to get a test to go in order to go back. So that is it's a great addition, I think, to the testing, as I think we've been discussing. I'm not sure if Linda brought this up from the county call, but testing numbers have definitely dropped. So we encourage people to get tested. I think that was part of our blip probably we've had the last 3-4 weeks. For example, at the Civic, they were testing upwards of 330 to 350 a day in November, early December. The state and the county reacted, added more staff, opened up more lanes, took another room in the lower level. And by January 1st, like our testing has dipped down, I think we're averaging about 50 or 60 a day. So we're hoping that picks up, but maybe it's also another sign that people are getting vaccinated, so they're not worried if they get a cough and running in to get tested. The things are going well in that aspect, so we're very happy, to play a part in that, and we're going to be there as long as they need us. It's very important to the mayor and to all of us in the community to offer that service. We've been working through things at the Civic and with the city on working with our live streaming issues. We've had a few at the Civic through no fault of the auditorium. It's been a provider issue. We think we're getting that solved, but one of the great things we've had with live streaming, or one of the things that has presented itself from the COVID outbreak is the need to be able to live stream events. And last year I think it was out of necessity. This year now it's out of choice. It presents some challenges, but it's something I think we're meeting. I'm sure they'll be dealing with this probably out at the fair area as well. But we've had return events that plan on live streaming that are selling actual pay-per-views. One of the things with the basketball tournament we're pursuing is definitely the need to live stream events because although they'll be telecasting like their semifinals and finals, there's opportunities for live streaming the early pre-qualifying rounds as well. Everyone's aware of the holiday pops and things like that. Those are all going to be live streaming events. We have a concert on Saturday that is a live streaming event that is new. So we're excited about that. We're working through those situations with our provider within the city. And we're just excited to see things beginning to return to normal. We still have to be careful, but we think that we're turning the corner, at least event-wise. We've had no cancellations now within the last 3 months, and the bookings have started, and what we're finding is a lack of space is going to be affecting a lot of people. You have pent-up demand from last year with weddings and things that were canceled that are piling in, and 22 is already filling up, and we're going into 23, and people want to get out, people want to be normal, so we're very excited about all that.
Thanks, Brent. Questions? Angie's not here. I can just, 2 quick things come to mind. Brenda has reported during our weekly meetings that we have that she said they're having trouble hiring, like everybody else. Another factor in that is the Hard Rock is got a due date to open up in 2 weeks or a few days. They're grabbing a lot of the blue chip employees, and that's kind of an industry.
Jack, to jump on that, I'm sorry, Linda brought it up. In regards to the job situation, LEAP is hosting a hiring fair at the Civic on May 26th from 3 to 6 p.m. And I did notice last night you mentioned Hard Rock. I noticed they're offering $2,000 bonuses.
Yeah. There's still a lot of blue chip staff. So blue chip was already struggling, according to Brenda, with just the same issues that Linda touched on, and everybody's dealing with getting folks to fill a lot of the jobs, especially entrance level jobs. So they're being challenged with that. She did report that they're probably never going to open up the buffet again. They've learned through this whole series of being shut down and dealing with it that was a lost leader for them. It was not bringing any money. And they're actually going to do some construction and open that band side of that up, the side of the buffet that's towards the casino right up. They're going to open that wall up and make that band area bigger. They simply may go to food courts in the buffet area, something like that, but we can expect that to change things. Other than that, I don't have much on the blue chip side. A lot of their regulations have changed, that they're really inching back towards normal though now with regards to meetings and things like that. I'm not sure what this last numbers is done to them yet, but we'll see, get an update for you on that. So, Susie?
Thank you, Jack. So as you can imagine, we are getting very busy out at the fairgrounds. Like Brett, we're starting to see people calling, starting to book later in this year and then also next year as well. Just to kind of give you some ideas of how much we really do have going on at the fairgrounds. In the month of May, we have 59 events scheduled. In June, there's 63. Now, most of these are small gatherings and meetings. Most of them are 4-H related or through the extension office, but we do also have horse shows, solid waste recycling, a couple of fundraisers for local organizations. So it's good to see that people are actually getting out now instead of doing their meetings remotely and through Zoom. The end of July, well, let me go backwards a second. We're going to still continue to do COVID vaccines at the fairgrounds until the end of May, and then they are going to be moving to the old LaPorte hospital. At that point in time, we will have some things to do to get ready for the fair board, and the fair board will take over the grounds end of June through July. We were scheduled to have a monster truck show in June. We decided to push that out to August because there's some infrastructure things we want to work on out of the motorsport arena to expand it so that we can have a bigger monster truck show in August of this year. We are also still pursuing the Magic of Lights, which is the 1.5 miles of Christmas lights to drive through. They're actually going to come out next week for a walkthrough, kind of plan a path to go through and make sure that this works for everybody. But we're hopeful that that's going to happen. That would mean that they would start taking over the grounds the middle of October, and they would have it until the first week in January. So that's something huge for us. Marketing-wise, we've been working on, our website and our social media are on target to be released at the end of this week. I'm actually going for website training this afternoon so I can make some updates on my own. I will show you actually, because I'm really excited, our branding, Sarah Solutions, has been great with Sam Hook Design to get us rolling. And this is our new logo. You can see that. There are different color options that we're going to use with this, so it's not just orange. So we thought that was really great. And then, as Pat had mentioned, we also have the sign that we've been working on with Steinler, which is being funded graciously by Horizon Bank. And we have a few more tweaks to go, but it's going to look something like this. So it will be placed on the grounds.
Do you have how that shows up at night?
I might. Let me see if I can do that for you.
I think that's
Horizon Bank's logo on it is actually channel lighting, which is really cool. I think it's going to look great at night. Let's see if I have that one. I don't have it with Horizon's logo on it.
That's fine.
But that should be ready to go before July. We'd like to get it up before the fair so that everybody can see our new sign. And as I was also telling Pat, Larry Lewandowski, our head of maintenance, and I went in front of the county council last night, which they graciously gave us another additional funds to help work on our infrastructure as they see the need to keep moving forward, as we have to be able to promote ourselves as having all the amenities in order to bring in higher quality entertainment and acts and organizations and even sponsorship onto the grounds in the coming year. And that's all I have today.
Just on the funding from the council last night, you got everything you asked for?
We got everything we asked for. They were very supportive. We're actually going to do a workshop. We're going to bring county council and the commissioners out to the fairgrounds, and Larry and I and Randy will walk them all through. We're going to do detailed, kind of letting them know these are the things that need improvements. These are the things that have not been taken care of over the years. Here's what we would like to see happen in the next 5, 10, and 20 years. So we're hoping to do that in probably the next month.
And I just want to add about the council. They've been very supportive of this organization. The newly established not-for-profit to run the fairgrounds. And, I just want to, give a shout out to them because the funding for all the infrastructure that's needed out there, there's significant dollars that they approved to be put into that facility. So like Susie said, we can upgrade it and get it attractive to, I'm saying, a global market. We can attract people from all over the world to come there, so.
Pat,
Very supportive.
yeah, it is, and that's not the first time they've stepped up either, too. Now, they stepped up originally, and I hate to use this term, bailed out the funding back when we transferred this over.
Yeah.
So you're right, I'm glad you brought that up, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I'll close out, and Pat, one last thing, I just want to remind, or just tell you all, remember we talked about the Airbnbs and the vacation rentals, just booming and catching us by surprise. And we are going to be contracting with Dunes Media to help us identify how we can better market for those folks. We've talked about it as a staff several times, and we've got great marketing companies in the county. We're using some good ones and for other things, and that brought that to mind. But we are going to, there's a lot of good ones, so we're going to be contracting there to get some ideas of how we can better reach out to this new entity that's out there that's brand new to us. It's such a big deal. So we're on a learning curve to it. We think outside help will help us a lot in moving towards that. So that would be something that it's going to start now. We're going to squeeze it in this year, but we may see something on the budget even for next year. It just depends. It's a big deal. It's a lot of money. So I'm done with my report. Thank you.
Okay. Linda, did you have anything else to add for anything? No. Okay. All right. Do we have any unfinished business to bring to the board today? How about any new business? Well, we're open now for any board comments that anyone would like to include in our meeting today, a discussion. We have a lot of things going on in the city, in the county, so no one? Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair.
We have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Motion by Doug Waters, second by Mike Seitz. Any objections? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. We'll see you on May 25th. Have a great month.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.